Patrick Henry's speech at the Virginia Convention would be the grounds for the American Revolution and the United States government. The first English settlers to come to America were the Puritans. The Puritans were seeking religious freedom from the Anglican Church in England. In America, the Puritans, as well as many other groups, were able to set up their own autonomous governments, separate from England, with more rights and liberties. However, as time went on and more settlers came to the American continent, England began to tighten its grip on the continent and limit those autonomous freedoms of the settlers. As the settlements became more populous and more profitable, England began to organize them into colonies. Other European nations were also attempting to expand their political power in America through colonization. This, along with other European-based power struggles, resulted in the French and Indian War. The French and Indian War was very costly for England, and ended up nearly doubling their national debt. To pay for the war, they looked to the colonies. After all, they had just spent 7 years and millions of pounds to protect them from the French and native tribes. The colonies, however, did not view this decision in the same light. It was not that the colonists believed that they shouldn't be taxed at all. Instead, they just wanted to be represented. The colonists were not allowed to choose representatives to Parliament in London, which passed laws under which they were taxed. James Otis began the saying, "Taxation without representation is tyranny." This saying spread across the colony. As colonists began to resist these new taxes, England began tightening control via the Quartering Act. They required Boston colonists to house and feed their soldiers, as well as the Stamp Act, where they taxed every piece of paper, including documents, contracts, and even playing cards. It was these acts of tyranny that would lead to Patrick Henry's speech at the Virginia Convention. Patrick Henry took notice of what was occurring in the colonies and decided that England would continue to abuse the colonies unless they went to war. During the Virginia Convention, Henry was the only one to argue that the only way to regain their freedom was to prepare for war with England. While the other speakers were willing to wait for a peaceful means to work, Patrick Henry desired removal of the oppressive English force by any means. Patrick Henry believed that England would continue to dominate the colonies. The colonies would only continue to be weakened more and more. He wanted a free and sovereign state controlled by the people of the colonies, independent of England. Patrick Henry's desire for freedom is why the first settlers came to America and why the United States was founded. Patrick Henry's desire for freedom is the basis of the American dream.